thank you so much for staying with us on iBrand Daybreak. Well, like I said, it wasn't time for us to end the show as we still have some few more segments, coming up. And the segment we're talking about now is the Star Corner, which will have a guest in the studio to take us through that the segment of the show. And we'll be talking with Olowu Olowu. I hope I got that correctly. He's a visual art personnel, and he will be putting us through all that has to do with visual art. What is visual art, and various types of visual art, and the focus when you are doing visual art, what comes to your mind, and other very, very, very important questions concerning this craft. Now we'll be welcoming Ifeoluwa to the studio. Welcome to the show once again.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me today.
You're welcome. How do you feel, first and foremost, being in our studio?
I feel good.
You feel
I feel awesome, so because it's not my first though, but to be here, it's my first. So I feel awesome.
All right. So we'll be talking to you about your craft, your field as visual art. First and foremost, we want you to tell our viewers, why did you decide to go into visual art?
Ever since I was little, at the age of 8, I started drawing from comics, movie covers and everything. So I said, okay, this is what I want to do. My parents supported me right from age 8, 10. I didn't even have a sketch pad at that time. I had books with lines. So I just pick it up, and I didn't even know what a pencil was at that time, like to make a realistic painting or a realistic drawing. So I usually use pen and everything to come up with that thing, and I thought I was a bit good at it, and I loved doing it. So when in my secondary school days, we did the fine arts. Instead of doing home economics, I chose fine art, and from there I cultivated the habit of, this is what I want to do for a very long time. So I studied creative arts at University of Lagos. So this is, ever since I've decided this is what I want to do. Like, when children are growing up, I said, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a shoulder. But me, I said, I want to be an artist, a visual artist.
That's interesting. And due apology that I mispronounced or actually didn't call your name properly. It's Ifeoluwa Olowu. Am I correct?
Yes, that's
all right.
Correct.
So you've just told us how you ventured into this craft, right? And you told us that you had support from your parents, of course, and you also went to school to really perfect your field as a visual art. Now, for somebody who wants to go into visual art, what does it entail?
Oh, okay. Some of my friends or some people ask me, how do I become an artist? How do I do it? I said, art is sometimes inbuilt, and you can also learn it. It's a journey. A mountain was not built in a day. It's a gradual process. So I started from drawing from scribbles, to perfecting what I am today. So if you want to be an artist, I just feel like you just need to be consistent with what you're doing. Choose a field you want to do. Do you want to use pencils? Do you want to paint? Or you want to start from the pencils and transcend into the paintings? Just choose a field, because we have different kind of artists these days. We have digital artists. This time we have the performer artists. So it depends on the field you want to go to. So pick that field. Check for references. You might go to school, you might not go to school, because there's an informal workshop where you can learn art. Understand? So pick that field, work, and be consistent.
So for your own field, it has to do with pencil, right?
Yes. The rudiments. I started with pencils. So, but I majored in painting in my university days. So I apply colors. I do other forms of art too, but I majored in painting.
That's what forms of art?
I do designs as well.
Designs.
I do textile.
Okay, so aside from the fact that you draw with your pencil, you also paint.
Yeah, also paint. Yeah.
To make it look more pronounced.
Yeah, to make it more pronounced.
All right. So, how much does it take to really venture into this field? Because you're making it look like it's so it's so easy.
The thing about it is that art is quite expensive. It's luxury basically.
All right. So for somebody who wants to start at a small level, I'm not talking about you going full blown.
Full blown.
Yeah.
You could get your pencils. start with the pencils and a sketch pad.
Is it the usual pencils? Or
No. We have artist pencils. We have Stedler. We have Nataraj. Different kinds of pencils.
That's
the
what
professional artists.
So how much does it take to get all of those things?
The last time I checked that Artward, a pencil cost about 1,000 naira, just one pencil. Yeah, so you've been needing about like 4 to 5 for a start. So like different shades of it. We have the B, the 2B, 8B, and to know, because the higher it goes, the darker it gets. Okay. So you have to like get a variety of pencils.
Okay. Aside from the pencil, what else do you need?
Your sketch pad.
Your sketch pad.
Your sketch pad. So from there you could start making sketches, and you before we paint, we usually sketch. All painting starts with a sketch. Okay. So before we paint, you sketch. So from there you could be sketching and try to like make your hand strong. So when you move to other mediums, you'll be very perfect in it. I
was about asking you one question, but before I do that, let me also ask you, in learning this, do you need, aside from the fact that you said there are informal settings where you go to get this training, do you also need to get YouTube videos to educate yourself, or you need to be in that four-wall of that informal setting?
Okay.
Or you just have to mentor through someone? I don't get that.
Yeah, the thing about it is that we're in a digital world. Technology has taken almost everything. So you don't need to go, sometimes you don't need to go to the four walls of your school or an informal setting. Sometimes you can learn online. There are YouTube videos. You can even WhatsApp someone. Probably you can make me as your mentor. Like you can also say, I need help on this and this and this. I'll put you through WhatsApp. Okay. So you don't have to go to school. You can definitely go to school, but you can learn in other ways.
All right. So, in your field, what technology have you actually brought in to really enhance this craft called visual art?
This is the most interesting part. Ever since I was little, like I've been seeing the paintings, seeing the drawings, even like masters before me. Like when we were in school, we usually like learn about masters, people that brought art into Nigeria, like Chief Olowu, the contemporary artists and everyone. So I thought about that. Okay, I love paintings, I love drawing, I love everything. So I said, okay, how do I differentiate myself from people that have been doing it? Yeah. So that's why I infused what I call and I call my art of the future. I bring
out of the future.
Art of the future.
Okay, art of the future.
Of the future. So basically, I'm currently like in 2013. Yeah. So because I'm bringing my paintings to life through AR, and once you put up your smartphone and after scanning my barcode, obviously, the painting comes to life, and it's fascinating. Because you go to galleries and you see normal paintings. Like if you go to Nikki Gallery, you see normal paintings, you love them. But now imagine you being inside the painting. That's the future. So,
all right. I would like to ask you, when you're trying to sketch, I'm going practical now. When you're about to sketch something on a board to bring it to life, how do you visualize? How do you get those ideas?
Inspiration comes from anywhere.
So tell us, for you, how does inspiration comes?
For me, most times, basically, I have a reference I'm working with. For example, we want to paint a portrait of someone. I get a reference pictures, different pictures of that person. It was a scene in Lagos, probably the festival. I get pictures from stuff like that. So when I come to my studio, I make a sketch of different. They make a composition of how I want to put it on the canvas. So there's a process to me just painting. I just don't pick up my brush and start applying colors. Although I can do that, but I can't just pick it up and start applying colors. I have to like a composition. I have to have a direction to what I want to do. So for me, inspiration comes from anywhere. For example, in this studio, I have some things that when I go back to my art studio, I want to paint. I want to put it down. So I can be walking and so something just comes to my Ife, I like that thing. You need to paint it. So I just pick up the brush and create magic.
Do you feel fulfilled being in this field, or is there something else you would like to do?
I'm an artist. I'm also an entrepreneur as well. So I'm into the printing business. Okay. Yeah. So I own a printing press. So apart from being an artist, I also print and designs. But the long-term focus, the career is being an artist.
So for you,
yes, that's what I want to do. I might venture into other things in the nearest future.
I was about asking that if you're not doing visual art, what would I be doing?
I love real estate.
Real estate.
Yeah, I love real estate.
Is there a plan you've started on that?
I've not started on it because I want to dive fully into tech first before I even think of real estate.
All right. So how booming is this sector? Visual art, because not everybody wants to do visual art. Some feel it's a dulling thing for them. It's something boring. You know, just pick up biros and how lucrative is it?
Art is quite lucrative because the value is always there.
Do people buy art?
People buy art.
Really? Tell us about it.
People buy art. If you're not married, so this artwork for £120,000. If you convert that to naira, that should be way.
Just this thing I'm saying, 120,000.
Yes, 120,000.
How do you check the worth? What are those?
That's
factors?
The value is relative. You might see something and think, what's this? Why another person be like, wow, this thing is very nice.
So that's why I'm asking. What are those things that you see that I'm not seeing that makes it valuable?
That makes it valuable. It's subjective.
I hope I'm not putting you on the spot.
No, it's actually subjective, basically, because I'm a future collector. So if I want to buy a colleague's work, I want to buy work. There are some things I look at, the style, the color application, and also the personality of the artist. It can't be worth 1,000 and I'll be saying I want to pay 10,000. Do you understand? So the personality of the artist also influences the price of his work. So as an artist, you need to put yourself in that level where, okay, do you want my work to sell for 10,000 USD? You want my work to sell for 100,000 USD? You have to put that value on yourself and also on your artwork. So it starts from the artist. Anything I make in my studio, it starts from that perception and me being in that studio. Okay, I see the future. Okay, this work is going global. I don't think local at all. I think global.
You think global?
I think global.
All right, now let's look at your global works now. Yeah. Let's see a soundbite that really explains what you've done, and when we come back, we'll talk about that just in a moment.
Okay.
All right, that's Ifeoluwa's work on the screen there. So tell us about that. What we just watched a couple of minutes ago.
Okay. All right. So
what painting is that?
That's oil on canvas.
Oil on canvas.
Oil on canvas. That's the medium I used, and I painted that in 2017.
2017.
Yeah, I painted that in 2017. Yeah, then I brought it to life in 2022.
What do you mean you brought it to life? How do you mean?
I just discovered that the technology about 3 years back. I've been painting before that time. So when I discovered the technology, I said, okay, let me apply it on my works, bring it to life through your camera and everything. So the inspiration behind that painting is my journey as an entrepreneur, as a printer. That's actually a co-bridge. A co-akbobon. Yeah, a co-bridge, yeah.
Sorry to butt in, Ife. We're going to come back to this, but we still want to check your work again and get more details on it just in a moment.
Right.
Beautiful African woman. You have probably seen them.
Wow.
Beautiful African woman. You have probably seen them.
All right, that's a beautiful work out there coming from Ifeoluwa, the visual art artist. Before we wrap up, because we are pressed for time, how much is this worth? This work you did for 2017, how much is it worth?
The current price is actually 10,000 USD.
10,000 USD.
So from here it goes way up.
That's interesting. Yeah. All right. So what's your advice out there for those who want to go into your craft?
Okay. If you want to venture into the arts world, I feel like you need to know what you're doing. You need to be focused. You need to pick a lane, and definitely pick a mentor whereby you would look at his work, will mentor you, and definitely be friends with galleries as well, because those are the people that exhibit our works and everything. So stay consistent.
Thank you very much, Ifeoluwa, for coming to the studio
Thank
to
you so
tell
much
us
for having
more
me.
about visual art. We wish you many best in your career. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, so it's the Star Corner. At this point, we'll be moving now to the next segment after this break. Please stay with us.